There was a time in America when dinner wasn't about fancy recipes or expensive ingredients. It was about making do with what you had. A single pot on the stove, a few simple things from the pantry, and somehow it all came together into something warm and filling that brought the whole family to the table. Those one-pot dinners didn't just feed bodies, they fed hope during hard times. They carried families through lean weeks when paychecks didn't stretch far enough and the bills piled up faster than the groceries came in. But the kitchen still smelled like home, and mothers, fathers, and grandmothers made miracles happen with a little creativity and a lot of love. Today, we're counting down 10 forgotten one-pot dinners that fed American families when money was tight. Number 10. The hobo stew that stretched every dollar. Hobo stew was born out of necessity during the Great Depression, but it stayed on tables long after because it worked. You'd brown whatever ground meat you could afford, sometimes just half a pound, then toss in canned tomatoes, a few potatoes, maybe some carrots or cabbage if you had them. Everything went into one pot and simmered until the house smelled like dinner. It wasn't elegant, but it filled stomachs and used up odds and ends before they went bad. Families ate it with cornbread or crackers, and nobody left the table hungry. The name came from the wandering men during hard times who made meals over open fires with whatever they could find. But in kitchens across America, it became a quiet symbol of resilience. You didn't need much to make something good. Number 9. The goulash Grandma made on Mondays. American goulash wasn't the fancy Hungarian version. It was elbow macaroni, ground beef, tomato sauce, and maybe some onions and bell peppers if you felt generous. Everything cooked together in one pot until the noodles soaked up all that tomatoey flavor. It was quick, it was cheap, and it fed a crowd without breaking the bank. Kids loved it because it tasted like comfort, and mothers loved it because it meant fewer dishes and less fuss. Do you remember watching the steam rise off a bowl of goulash on a cold Monday night? It showed up on tables during the 50s and 60s when budgets were tight, but families were growing. These days, people call it chop suey or slumgullion depending on where you grew up, but the memory tastes the same. Simple food that meant you were home.
Number 8. The lima bean and ham bone supper nobody talks about. If your family saved the ham bone after Sunday dinner, you knew what was coming midweek. That bone went into a pot with dried lima beans, an onion, maybe a bay leaf, and water. It simmered low and slow for hours until the beans turned creamy and the smoky ham flavor spread through every bite. It wasn't glamorous, but it was filling and warm, and it cost almost nothing to make. Lima beans were cheap, and that ham bone would have gone in the trash otherwise. Families ate it with cornbread on the side to soak up the broth. It was the kind of meal that reminded you nothing went to waste back then. Every scrap had value. Every pot told a story of making it work. Number 7. The cabbage and sausage skillet that saved the week. When payday was still 3 days away and the pantry was getting bare, cabbage saved the day. You'd slice up half a head of cabbage, brown a few cheap sausages or hot dogs, and cook them together in one big skillet with a little butter or bacon grease. Sometimes you'd add potatoes if you had them. The cabbage would soften and sweeten, and the sausage added just enough flavor to make it feel like a real meal. It was fast, it was filling, and it stretched ingredients further than you'd think. Cabbage was one of the cheapest vegetables you could buy, and it lasted forever in the icebox. Families leaned on meals like this during the lean years of the Depression, and again in the tough stretches of the 50s and 60s. It wasn't fancy, but it was honest food that kept you going.
Number 6. The beans and Frank's dinner every kid knew. Open a can of pork and beans, slice up some hot dogs, throw them in a pot together, and heat it through. That was dinner for thousands of American families when the budget ran thin. It was simple, it was cheap, and kids actually ate it without complaining. You could dress it up with a little brown sugar, mustard, or ketchup if you wanted to feel fancy, but most of the time it was just beans and Frank's served with white bread on the side. The whole meal cost less than $1 and fed 4 or 5 people.
It showed up on tables during hard weeks, on camping trips, and in households where both parents worked long hours and didn't have time for complicated cooking. These days, it feels almost too simple to serve, but back then it was just what you did, and nobody thought twice about it. Number 5, the potato and onion hash that appeared at midnight. When there wasn't much left in the house, there were almost always potatoes and onions. You'd peel and dice them up, fry them together in a cast iron skillet with whatever fat you had, bacon grease, butter, lard, and let them get golden and crispy. Sometimes you'd crack a couple eggs on top near the end and let them cook right into the hash. It wasn't breakfast and it wasn't quite dinner, but it was food when food was running low. Families ate it late at night after long shifts or on Sunday evenings when the cupboards were bare and Monday's paycheck couldn't come soon enough. It tasted like survival and comfort all mixed together. Potatoes were cheap, reliable, and filling. They carried families through lean times more than once, and a good potato hash reminded you that simple ingredients could still make something worth sitting down for. Number 4, the chicken and rice that stretched one bird all week. A whole chicken wasn't just Sunday dinner, it was 3 or 4 meals if you knew how to make it last. After the first night's roast, you'd strip the leftover meat and simmer the bones in water to make broth. Then you'd throw the shredded chicken back into that broth along with rice, maybe some celery, carrots, or peas if you had them. One pot, one meal, enough to feed the family again. The rice soaked up all the flavor from the chicken and broth, and it turned into something warm and filling that felt like love in a bowl. You could stretch it even further by adding more rice and water if unexpected company showed up. Families during the Depression and the war years learned to make one chicken last as long as possible. And even decades later, that lesson stayed in kitchens across America. Waste nothing, use everything, make it count. Number 3, the tomato soup and rice casserole nobody admits they loved. This one sounds strange until you taste it. A can of condensed tomato soup mixed with cooked rice, maybe a little ground beef if you could spare it, baked together in one pot until it's set up like a casserole. Some families added cheese on top, others stirred in onions or celery. It was warm, it was soft, it was filling, and it cost almost nothing to make. Kids ate it without fussing, and mothers served it on nights when the grocery money had run out before the week did. It wasn't something you'd find in a cookbook, but it was something that lived in handwritten recipe cards tucked into kitchen drawers, the kind of dish passed down quietly because it worked when things were hard. These days, people might turn their nose up at canned soup and rice, but back then, it was dinner, and it tasted just fine.
Number 2, the navy bean soup that fed the whole block. Navy beans were small, white, cheap, and they filled you up like nothing else. Soak them overnight, then simmer them with a ham hock, an onion, maybe a carrot or two, and let it cook low and slow until everything turns soft and creamy. The ham hock flavored the whole pot, and the beans thickened into something rich and hearty. You could feed a big family or even a few neighbors with one pot of navy bean soup. It was the kind of meal that appeared during cold months, hard times, and long winters when budgets were tight and bellies needed filling. Served with cornbread or crackers, it became a complete meal that cost pennies per serving. Families made it during the Depression, during the war, and during any stretch when money didn't go as far as it needed to. And every spoonful reminded you that simple ingredients, given time and care, could still nourish and comfort. Number 1, the everything stew that saved what was left. The number 1 forgotten one-pot dinner wasn't really a recipe at all. It was the stew that showed up at the end of the week when the cupboards were nearly bare and payday was still a day away. Whatever vegetables were left, carrots, potatoes, celery, turnips, whatever meat you had, even if it was just a little beef or pork, a can of tomatoes if you were lucky, some broth or water, salt, pepper, maybe a bay leaf. Everything went into one pot and simmered together until it became something bigger than its parts. No 2 pots ever tasted the same because no 2 families had the same leftovers, but it always worked. It filled stomachs, it used up food before it spoiled, and it reminded everyone at the table that you didn't need much to make something good. This was the meal that held families together during the Depression, during hard winters, during weeks when work was slow and money was tight. It wasn't written down in cookbooks or served in restaurants. It was just what mothers and grandmothers did, and it mattered. Those one-pot dinners weren't just meals, they were survival. They were love stretched across lean times and hard weeks. They were proof that American families knew how to make do, make it last, and still sit down together at the end of the day. These dishes didn't need fancy ingredients or complicated steps. They just needed someone willing to throw what they had into a pot and turn it into something that felt like home. Most of these meals have faded from modern tables, replaced by takeout and convenience foods. But for those who remember them, they still carry the weight of real life, the kind that didn't come easy, but came with pride. If any of these one-pot dinners showed up on your family's table, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Share your memories with us. And if you enjoyed this walk back through America's kitchens, give this video a like and subscribe for more forgotten stories from the past. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the simplest meals are the ones we never forget.